It is. Well, we're glad you're there. So I want to welcome Congressman Keith Self and Tracy, his lovely wife, to be our speaker.
Well, thank you, Kathy. Can everybody hear me back in the back? All right. Very good. This is Tom's second run at this. And Tom, we're going to get you across the finish line only one way, by going beyond this room. We've got to have a lot of people beyond this room. The next time we get together, I hope to see new faces, because I will be here again, because Tom owns this building today. He and Cleo have run this restaurant for 20 years. Is that right? 20 years. 22 years. So they've been business people in this building, in this town, engaged for over 20 years. That is more than most people who have come to Collin County in the last 20 years. It's been now 16, so it was before I took office as the county judge in 07, that they've been engaged in this community. That's what you need for somebody that is in a fast growth county. What is the history of the city, of the county, of the businesses, of the climate? And I hate to use the term, but Tom knows where all the bodies are buried. It's appropriate. He knows what's happening in this city, and that's exactly what you need, because, look, a congressman is basically a local elected official who happens to work in Washington, D.C. So I understand that you must be in touch with your local heartbeat, with what's happening in your community, with what's going on, who's doing what, who is above board, who is not above board. You've got to be involved to that level. Because the city council, right behind the school board, is probably the most important job in the county. Now, the cities all have their own personality. When I was the county judge, it became obvious that the cities have different personalities. Every city has their own personality. And frankly, that's fine. Cities ought to be able to determine their own personality. Tom brings the heart to McKinney that I think will give McKinney the personality that it needs to be the county seat of the second fastest growing county in the state, because one of the things we're going to have to do as we continue to grow is to maintain the conservative principles that we've seen in the past. Because you know where the Democrat areas are. They're the big cities. The big cities are run by Democrats by and large, even across Texas. That's what we want to make sure does not happen to McKinney. We have got to maintain the conservative principles so that your rights are not trampled on, so that your money is well spent, so that the services are what you need, so that the projects that you vote on are what you want to happen. But again, we've got to see new faces in this election. We cannot just simply go to the friends that we've known in the past. Who are you going to bring to the next event? Who are you going to talk about Tom Meredith to? Who are you going to take to the polls? Who is your list? Because this is not just coming to the event to talk to Tom every time he has an event. You've got to go get new people. I recognize a lot of the faces here, folks. And let me tell you, we got to have more new faces for this election. There's a lot of people out there. Now let's think about elections. Everybody loves to go vote for the president. What is the percentage from the presidential election to a municipal election? The drop-off is severe. Severe. On the other hand, that means that every person you bring to the polls is voting for 40 or 50 people. Don't underestimate your impact in a city election. Everybody that you bring is going to vote for dozens of people. So I appreciate you being here. I want you to be here. Now I want you to go get more people, because this is just like going into a fight. As Kathy told you, I was in the military for 25 years. You learn real early, Gunny, you learn real early when you go to a fight, you take as many friends with you as possible. And that's what we need to do. So all of this is to encourage you. I appreciate you being here tonight, but now I want you to go work for Tom. It's not enough for us to simply come to his events, eat his food, say hi to our friends. That's not enough. Now we got to go to work. So this is late March. Whoa. We don't have much time, folks. We got to go to work. So I want you to go to work. Make your list. I want you to go get a piece of paper. Who can you bring that you can influence to vote for Tom Meredith? Who are those people? Not just generally speaking. I want you to go get a piece of paper and make a list. Because many people say, well, I can't get that many people. I think you'd be surprised. Make a list. Write it down. And then go talk to them. Very specifically, very intentionally, go talk to them about Tom Meredith. Because that's how politics works. Politics is very relational. It's very personal at the grassroots level. Yeah, we see the people on TV that have the ads, that get the interviews and all of that, but that's not grassroots politics. That's why I come home as often as I can. Yeah, I go on Newsmax several times a week. Yeah, I go on other programs, but that's not retail politics. Tom Meredith needs your retail politics, which means you go talking to people that will listen to you. Your circle of friends is larger than you know. Go write them down. I think this can be won. People are telling me this is another long shot. That's okay. Frankly, I think conservatives ought to run in every race. But it will not be a long shot if we all go work retail politics with the people we know, with the people that are willing to listen to us. So write it down and go talk to them. This happens this way. This is the way change is made. So make a list of your friends. Go talk to them. Be happy to talk to you about Washington if you want to, but I'd just as soon talk about Texas as Washington. So anyway, thank you for being here. Now let's go get to work. Thank you.
Thank everybody's being here, and my Taiwanese chamber friends, they're here again. Thank you for your support. You guys are the best. And also Amy, her social media group channel, they're here, and they're going to post the video on YouTube. And then thank you very much. And thank you everybody being here. Really appreciate it.
Looking around the room tonight, I see many people we've known for many years now. Some of you we've known for decades. And I just want to thank you all for being here tonight. I really want to thank our Congressman Keith Self, his wife Tracy, for being here. We've also got Scott Stanford, our former state representative, and his wife Shelley here. And I also want to thank Kathy Morgan for being here and emceeing this tonight. So let's give them all a big round of applause. And I'd like to ask all of you a question. How many of you think your voice is heard in the city of McKinney? Can I see a show of hands? Oh, okay. One made a very good point, Tom. His voice is heard, but ignored. So that's a main reason I decided to run. Is we've got an election coming up, May 6th. We've got 3 open seats on the ballot, and I wasn't planning on running again, quite honestly. But we've been talking to a lot of people for the past year, trying to encourage people to run. But I just could not accept 3 open seats and not one person to challenge that. So at least we can have open dialogue and really have honest conversation. That's my big thing. My wife and I bought this building in 2001. We also bought the pantry restaurant. And I couldn't have pulled that off without, where is Cleo? Cleo, can you stand up? Yeah. She's been with me every step of the way for the last 20 years. And what I've accomplished, we did that all together, 100%. And I'm very proud of her. Again, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. So early on, after acquiring this property, getting involved in business, it was easy to see early on there was a lot of issues external to the business that were important for us, our community. So I got involved early on. I've been on city boards, committees. We had a downtown property owners group for quite a few years that I was an officer in. But most importantly, where I've got the most things done is with just what I would call ad hoc approaches to things, where I would spend a lot of time getting people together and say, look, I think we really need to do this or do that. And we would generally I'd get a group of people to go to a city council, maybe a meeting or maybe a series of them. Maybe we would meet with the city staff. But we got a lot of things accomplished down here over the years. Not everything I would like to, obviously. But if we were all to take a tour together and walk around this area, I can point to you so many things that we got done over the years. That's where I'm very confident. I know how to work with the city, and I know how to actually get things done and not just talk about what we're going to do. So again, this race coming up in May it's going to be a big challenge. Again, part of it for us as a family being in this race is we plan on living in McKinney the rest of our lives. And we're hoping our daughter, who's in college right now, will move here shortly, but we'll see how that goes. So we're fully invested. We're here for the long term. And like I said, I feel very confident in getting things done here for the entire community. So just to give you an idea of a few things I want to address that is number one is we need to be a business-friendly community. And from being a business owner, commercial property owner all these years, I know exactly how to make that happen and what we need to do. Number two, we are lagging our neighbors like Frisco and Plano as far as commercial tax base goes. And there's a reason for that. It didn't just happen for no reason. And going forward, let me give you an idea of some of the things that I will make happen over the next few years. Is number one, we need to, everything we do, every project we do in the city, whether it be for economic development or just a capital project, infrastructure project, we have to do thorough financial analysis on those projects. What's our return on investment? What's the payback period? And we need to compare projects. It can't be, well, this is Joe's project. No, the numbers have to make sense. And then we have to do things that fit into the long-term perspective of what kind of community we want to live in 10 or 15 years, because everything we do today is going to have effect on what McKinney looks like in 10, 20 years from now. So we have to have that perspective. One more thing we can do to develop better projects is we have several boards in the city that really affect how these projects, which ones are chosen, how they move ahead. A couple of examples are the Economic Development Corporation and the Planning and Zoning Board. This city has an incredible amount of talent. People have done things at the highest level, the corporate level. We need to get the best talent we can on these boards where it's rigorous debate, where we really get to the best projects we can. So those are some examples how we can get that commercial tax base up, because we need it. Everybody in this room has a certain expectancy of what we expect from our police force, our fire, and also just our basic infrastructure in the community. So, and we have to compete with our neighbors in Collin County, like Plano and Frisco, for good employees. So we have to, for the sake of our city, to have what we want it to be the long term, we have to have this economic improvement. So here we are. We're going to be coming up on May 6th before you know it. And like Keith just mentioned, we need every one of you to get engaged, to bring more people to events, to volunteer, to make financial contributions. And like Keith said too, one of my things about getting on the city council is I'm not getting on there because it's something I want to do. I'm going to have a checklist of things that I want to accomplish during that time. But we are really going to have to get engaged in this deal because there's going to be pushback. But I feel very confident we can win this thing. I see a lot of great people in this room I've known for years. We're going to go out and reach more. But if I get on that council, I promise you, from day one, we'll be working hard for that next election 2 years from now to have more solid candidates, really looking for a more, some younger people coming up behind us to start running this city the way we want it to run, respecting the values that we all look for in this room. So when I'm asking, Keith's kind of made some points on asking you for some things. I'm going to go along those same lines. There's going to be big pushback on this deal. I can promise you that. They're going to dump a lot of money into this race. So everybody in this room, do what you can, but we need those big checks, $500, $1,000, because they're going to be putting that out there. And I promise you, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to raise money, and we're going to get this thing done. Again, I can't tell you how important it is to me, my family, for all of you being here tonight. We really love all of you, and let's just go out and win this thing and have fun. We got a few more people. Appreciate all of you.